Oh, hello, hello. Happy happy Tuesday. And thank you all for joining us. Just want to start off by saying apologies for having to wait in the waiting room a little bit. Ran into a few technical difficulties, but we are here. For folks who have not met me before, my name is Christopher Good, Director of Integrated Campaigns and AI Solutions here at EverWorker. And today, joined by Amaya, I'll let him introduce himself as well if you guys have not met him either.
Hey, welcome to the live stream, everyone. My name is Maya Deshmukh, head of marketing at EverWorker, and we're really excited to show you our sales and marketing AI solution today. And we're going to keep the slides to a minimum. We're going to try and rip through them in about 5 minutes, but no longer than 10, because the bulk of actually what we want to show you today is 3 AI workers from the 15 in our solution. And that is the SEO and AI search AI worker, the email nurture AI worker, and the SDR AI worker. And we're going to walk through the entire workflow, the architecture, how they were built, how we customize them to you, as well as the results we're seeing internally from our own usage of them, because our entire team actually dog foods our whole product. And what we've done actually is created AI workers to help our team of 4 perform like a team of 30. And that is what we're building and deploying to our clients and customers as well. So without further ado, let's roll right into it.
Yeah, let me. Cool. So, like Amaya said, today's session is really built for people in the room who are expected to lead these AI initiatives this year, and we want to skip the hype cycle and see how AI workers actually run real GTM motions. So, let's kick things off here. It's quick context on us, on EverWorker, right? We're a 60-person team headquartered in San Francisco, New York, and Zurich. We're VC backed. We're scaling fast. Our founding team has a track record of building sort of first of its kind AI businesses, not research projects, but real deployed enterprise AI. Key differentiator for us here is that we have deep roots in enterprise services. This isn't a sign up and figure it out platform. We have consultative engagement model. We work alongside your team to get AI workers deployed, tuned, and delivering results. So our mission is solving the adoption problem, right? Bringing frontier AI to every business, not just companies with ML engineering teams. Now, EverWorker is an AI workforce platform, right? That lets business teams create and deploy autonomous AI workers all without writing code, right? We say here, if you can describe the work, you can build the worker. So we're giving capacity strapped teams, employees that never sleep, handling complete business processes from end to end. So your people can focus on the work that actually matters. Here's our model, right? So on one side, we have our all-in-one work AI platform built for business users, not developers, even though developers can still scratch that technical itch, which you'll see here in a little bit. You build, deploy, onboard, orchestrate, and optimize AI workers all in one place, right? Not pieced around your business. On the other side, always there, expert help, right? Professional services, enablement, team training, custom interfaces, advanced workflow support, and ongoing worker optimization. The big piece here is that your team, your workflows, your environment, your data, right? We're adapting AI to how you already work, not asking you to re-architect your entire stack.
Yeah, really, we've been intentional about this because if you've all explored AI before, you've probably noticed something, and that's that most approaches ask way too much of you, or they promise a lot but deliver very little. Like when you go and look at off-the-shelf AI tools, like take your Surfer SEO tool for example, it's tough to make them work for you exactly and follow your business processes and execute what you really need. When you look at DevTools platforms and things like N8N or Microsoft Copilot Studio and Azure AI Foundry, those all require engineering resources that mid-market companies and scale-ups and startups really just don't have. And if you go talk to consultants like some of our clients do before they meet us, you'll get quotes for like $6 million for 5 AI agents from places like Boston Consulting Group, McKinsey, Accenture, and if you're paying that much for capability that is going to be custom coded that you can't modify or own, there's really not enough ROI to warrant that for most mid-market companies, startups, and scale-ups. So we really were trying to be intentional about solving all this. So we don't give you a blank canvas and wish you luck, even though our platform's amazing. We don't give you rigid software. We give you something that can adapt to how you actually work. And really, we make sure you succeed with three things, right? The first is a platform for business users. So it's got all the technical complexity you need built into it to create really powerful AI workers and workflows. And there's no code or engineering required. So that means that, we've got a template library. We built AI agents that help you build AI agents. The platform supports literally any type of model, large language models, reasoning models, video, image, voice. You can integrate it and trigger workflows to happen from anywhere you like. Of course, you've got your full governance layer there as well. And then it's got a knowledge engine built in, so you can set up a vector store and do RAG pipelines in literally a button click. And we built in a capability called EverWorker Universal Connector. So your platform connects to all of your business systems. And if it's got an API, an MCP, or a webhook, we can integrate AI workers into it. Doesn't have any of those. We have agentic browser capability as well, but we don't really often find a need to do that. Now, the second component to it is services. So this is how we get our clients running in our marketing and sales use cases in just 6 weeks. And that 6-week time period includes our sales process as well. So those first 3 weeks, we meet with you, we define your use cases, really understand your business needs, scope workers from our selected catalog to prioritize for your first phased implementation. Then on the second call, we actually customize one of the workers from our catalog to your company for free, just to show you how powerful the platform and our solution is, and to prove to you that the worker can actually do the work before you even sign a contract. From there, we'll go and build out a business case with you, get you an ROI calculation, and product proposal form in front of you. And from there, we just go into deployment and services creation. So about 45 days from signing a contract, you'll have AI workers live in your business, delivering real business results, and a team trained on how to modify, configure, build, and use them. And from there, the world is your oyster. So you can build unlimited AI workers yourself, unlimited users on the platform, and an unlimited run of those workers, because we do not charge you for token consumption. That happens through your own API endpoints for all the models. So unlimited scale. And then you've got expert services and on-call support at any time you need it to help you as you're building your own workflows. And then our services team is always there to come and do done-for-you builds as well. So it's your fastest path from AI strategy to results. And really what enables us to do this is we're working with a lot of different companies and business functions, and we're seeing design patterns that we're developing for successful AI workers and workflows. So this is our catalog, or our EverWorker Ready roster across marketing and sales, finance, HR and recruiting, and customer experience. So really your core business operations offshore to Silicon, and infinite capacity and capability for these use cases with AI. Now, these are just our template catalog that's available. This catalog is continuously growing. We've actually added 2 more to the marketing use cases just this week. So this will continue to grow, and over time you'll actually see this inside the product as templates that you can utilize, leverage, and configure, and start building and using yourself. But Chris, I'll pass it back over to you, and let's intro our marketing AI solution.
Yeah, so this is the our sales and marketing sort of group broken out into 3 pillars, right? And I'll talk about the 3 workers we're gonna show here in a second, but at a high level, it's brand awareness, demand generation, and revenue acceleration. So brand awareness, social media, content marketing, webinar marketing, SEO, AIO, video marketing, right? These drive engagements, post frequency, authority content, keyword coverage, and video output. Demand generation, right? Advertising, email marketing, landing pages, lead scoring and enrichment, SDR team lead workers. These are your pipeline machine, right? Qualified leads up, cost per lead down, reply rates, and meetings booked way up. And then the last piece, the revenue acceleration, right? So pipeline management, sales playbook, business case and proposal, RFP response, and competitive differentiation rate workers, right? So we're thinking CRM completeness, forecast accuracy, win rate, deal size, deal velocity, all moving in the right direction. And as Amaya said, 17 workers right now, but the list is ever growing. Each one, though, owns an end-to-end process. Each one connects to your real tools. Each one runs without you needing an entire engineering team. So let's, shall we jump in? Let's do it here. I'll add you back in here and let's just jump into the demo.
Yeah, so why don't I kick us off with the SEO and AIO worker as a starting point. And then again, this is fully interactive. So if you're watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or directly from the StreamYard, post any comments or questions you have along the way right into the chat, and we will answer them in real time. Okay, so here is our SEO and AI search worker. Now, this is the ultimate version of it, which is a fully autonomous workflow. And I'm going to run this live. And as it's running, I'm going to break down all the components of it, explain to you what it does, as well as share real results from our HubSpot blog reporting and CMS analytics to show you how powerful this thing is. So at the top end of it, I'm going to give it a persona and a keyword. Right. So we go to market with targeting different business function leaders. Right. So here, let's go and do a director of content marketing as our persona. And for our keyword, let's go ahead and say how to rank for AI search. I'm going to click run workflow here. Okay. So now what this is going to do is it's going to send that persona and keyword to a persona and keyword researcher AI worker. So here's what that looks like. So this is how you create different workers inside EverWorker, right? So first we give it a name and a description. Then we give it knowledge. So doing that is literally checking boxes. So one of the capabilities we have built in is web search. So when you check this box on, as this worker is doing research on the internet, it's going to store that in a temporary vector DB so that it can build that context up and then retrieve it as it goes through its various phases. Now, what you're looking at here are memories. And these are actually all vector databases and retrieval augmented generation pipelines. So inside each one of these memories, I've uploaded different documents like white papers, messaging and positioning, persona profiles for all of our key different segments and go-to-market narrative. So of course, you've got your messaging and positioning, and then different use cases, blueprints, personas, and solution messaging guides for different segments we're going after. For the brain, this is where you pick a model to power the AI worker. Here, I'm just using GPT-4.1. And instructions are what does the heavy lifting. So that is split out into role and objective, and then an instruction set, which is, this is the keyword researcher worker. So it's going to get its input 2 items, keyword and persona. And then it's going to go and do semantic keyword generation. So it's going to look at the exact target phrase. It's going to look at LSI variations. It's going to look at long tail phrases. It's going to look at question keywords, which are really important for getting ranking on AI search. It's going to find industry terminology and related concepts. So if you remember, the keyword phrase I typed in was how to rank for AI search. So that's what this is working on right now. From there, for every single keyword that it identifies from that list, it is going to estimate search intent. And then it's going to do SERP analysis for every single keyword and look at the top 10 organic results. So based on that, it is going to look at things like URL authority, title tag, content structure, article length, content depth, so on and so forth, as well as analyze the featured snippet on that search page. So it knows to optimize for that. Then it's going to go and create a competitive gap analysis, target word count calculation, and then it's going to move on into extended search engine result page research. So for the LSI variations, for the long tail, for the question keywords, so on and so forth. And then finally, it's going to do question mining. So now that it's got a really, really great context store on the entire universe of topics and coverage, as well as how to compete in the content approach and strategy with everything else that's out there. It is going to do question mining. So it's going to look at like the Google people also ask, Reddit, Quora, industry forums, answer the public, Y Combinator, Hacker News. You can do that as well if you like. And then it's going to classify the different questions into a matrix, priority rank them, and then finally it's going to synthesize its output in final output format preparation. So because this is the version of the AI worker that I use in a workflow, when you look at its output format, it's outputting it as a JSON array so that the workflow can pick it up. But I'm going to show you what this looked like when I built it first, so you understand the depth of its research. So this is also final instructions. So these are just your guardrails and fences. Skills here, we've built in a couple of skills for web search, web page scraping, and then connected it to an additional real-time web search API. And this just lets it do a little more advanced querying. So let's go take a look at this guy. You should see, great. Okay, so here is the prompt it got, and here's its JSON output. So let's go and take this prompt and put it into the human in the loop version of this, right? So this was the human in the loop version I built of this, where the only difference here is its output format. Instead of the JSON, I had it output a comprehensive research document that showed all of its work from its phases, right? And then I ran that many, many times in chat to make sure that it was executing that properly. So we can go and see what this thing does when I give it the same idea, right? So this is going to take a little while to run because it's a pretty complicated query that it's doing. But if you go and look at way back in January when I built this version of it, here's a primary keyword I gave it and then a target persona. So you all saw the instruction set earlier in the presentation. This is what it's doing in the background prior to it outputting that JSON. Right? So you're getting a really in-depth keyword strategy. It's mapping the relationships between these keywords. So that's really important, of course, as you do internal linking and for content strategy in general. It's doing competitive SERP analysis, benchmarking, so on and so forth, content gap, question research. So as you can see, this is like a very, very robust research process that it executes prior to giving that keyword list. So going back to this, now that that's done, it's passing it on to 2 more nodes just to format the JSON properly. And then it is calling this blog creation decision tree, which is another workflow. So what this thing is doing is it's doing it in sequence, each combination of persona and keyword. It's checking to see if it's in a collection, which is a different memory or log of things it's already written about. If that persona and keyword combination is in collection already, then it's not going to pass it on to the writer worker. If it isn't, as in it's net new, it's going to pass it on to the writing workflow. So this is what the writing and publishing workflow looks like. So again, this is taking persona and keyword as input. It's logging that into the keyword history because it's obviously going to write and publish about it. Then it is calling the blog writer AI worker, which is going to take that whole research packet, the blog direction, do additional research on its own, and then write, design, and package the entire blog in a format that it's ready to roll into our CMS. And then this is going to pass the entire blog text it writes to a metadata writer agent, which is going to write the meta description. And it's going to pass that entire blog text to a header image prompt generator worker that's going to generate a prompt for a nano banana scale to create the header image. Then this thing here is just going to rewrite and give a image file name for the image that is generated here. This is uploading the image into HubSpot directly. And then this workflow node is calling a skill to create the entire blog post in HubSpot and publish it on its own. So basically how we run our SEO in-house here now is we just once a day hop in there and give it a persona and keyword combination, and then it just publishes articles on its own. And if you give it some time here, you'll start to see articles come in. There we go. Okay, so two articles done out of the list so far and published. So let's go take a look at them. Boom. Okay, so here you've got the full article. Here you've got a featured snippet optimized intro, really well-written content, nicely structured, deep coverage over the entire topic area. And it's doing external linking from its research to high quality sources. And you'll also see that it's doing internal linking from reading and scanning our blog website and identifying semantically relevant blog pieces. So we're building that internal link structure. And then based on the intent of the article, whether it's top of funnel, mid funnel, or bottom funnel, it's dynamically selecting a call to action and adding that in as well, which in this case, it is a CTA to book a demo form. And then finally, it's going to add in FAQs, which are important for AI search as well. So again, similar outcome here with this article. And the results we're seeing from this are really, really awesome. So we spend less than 10 minutes a week on this, and our articles views are growing about 80% every 30 days. But what else is really interesting is that if you go look at our quarter over quarter performance, we are up on AI referrals by 230% and then 25% on direct traffic. And then our organic continues to climb month over month as well, which I think the direct and organic get kind of blended in this HubSpot report. And going and looking at my search console, we're ranking on page 1 for about 500 different terms. And we've only been going to market for 3 quarters now and running this worker for about 6 months. And these are the kind of results that you can expect from this. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you is what the blog writer worker looks like. So again, this has the same knowledge. It's got GPT-5 Mini as the brain, and it's got a really complex instruction set. So this instruction set, when I paste it into a Word doc, is about 23 pages. So it's going to get that persona and keyword. It's going to do the same keyword analysis in depth again. So we're querying and filling out that vector memory for this worker with it. It's going to do persona alignment from querying its vector DB for the personas. It's going to do a unique angle and value proposition. And then it's also going to query its messaging memory to figure out how to connect EverWorker solutions to this topic. It's going to do a article structure requirements. It's doing self-checks along the way as well. It's got a bunch of copywriting frameworks built into it. It's got featured snippet optimization built in, content depth, when to use lists and tables, and then a content arc that's framework specific depending on what sort of story we want to tell. And then guidance on how to introduce thought leadership with, again, self-check here. And then guidance on how to do our CTAs as well. Guidance on the FAQ section, keyword density, featured snippet optimization, citing statistics, and then pillar cluster strategy, as well as a final checkpoint for it to go through, and then a final auto revision. And this is the version of it that's human in the loop. So it outputs the article in chat, but the version I'm using in the workflow outputs it directly as HTML directly over into HubSpot. So now, if you're looking at this instruction set and getting overwhelmed, this is why we have services. So all we really need from you in order to build this, we can build this for you in about 3 hours, is your messaging and positioning doc, and then your persona documents, and your CTAs, as well as like some basic brand guidelines. And from there, we'll go and build this for you and teach you how to configure it and have it live and generating articles, can integrate with any CMS again. So before we move on from here, are there any questions on SEO worker or AI search optimization, or really how we're doing this? So question from Mark: can internal document or URLs to drives be shared as input sources but kept private and not ingested to a public LML? Yes, they can. So what's cool about our platform is, first of all, the LLM models that you're using, they're using your own private endpoints. So you would get them from things like Amazon Bedrock or Google or really any large cloud provider. And all of those have no train, no retain policies in place. And if you're going through Amazon's endpoints, they're actually even FedRAMP certified. So that's the highest level of privacy and security. So you don't need to worry about that being ingested and shared. And then in terms of connecting in document and URLs, you can either create memories by adding a knowledge source like this, which would be if you wanted to do it from a Google Drive as an input source, or you can create a memory like so, which is literally just like creating a SharePoint folder or a Drive folder. You make a memory and then you upload either files or URLs into that memory for each document that you want, and it automatically builds a RAG pipeline and vector DB for that.
Got another one here. Whoop, sorry.
Yep. How about generative engine optimization, right? Yeah, so that's built into the AI worker. So if you're familiar with Neil Patel, I spoke with him maybe like 2 months ago on the topic of AI search and AI optimization. Really, it's really just SEO again, but done at a higher quality. And then adding in things like featured snippet openers and then answering questions in your content, having really good internal linking. And then, of course, doing video is the last little polishing touch. Can I research competitors and see their SEO keywords and attempt to leverage them in my blog articles? Yeah, Mark, you can totally do that. The way that you would do that is you would just go to your keyword research worker, right? And you would just create one where you gave it an instruction set, like so. Basically, if we were to create it live right now, and then you would just basically go like this and be like, here are my competitors' websites, list the websites, and then for each competitor, analyze their blog page and websites and identify the 100 to 200 keywords that they are trying to rank for. Now, in reality, your instruction set's going to be a little more complicated than that, but essentially this is how you would approach doing it, is just writing it out in natural language, and we'll guide you through that as part of our services and training. But yes, you can absolutely do that. What else?
I think that might be the last question, at least on that worker. If so, I'm happy to jump over to the marketing email nurture.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So, all right. So here we have this marketing email nurture worker. Now, piece about this worker sort of sits in the demand gen pillar alongside the an SDR worker. So further down the pipe than, let's say, the brand awareness, SEO, AIO worker we just saw, after we've generated leads from that worker writing blogs, let's say, now we want to create sort of marketing email campaigns around those buckets of folks. This worker sort of handles that marketing side of those email creations, right? So the nurture sequences, promotional campaigns, newsletters, the stuff that your marketing ops team spends, 80% of their week building manually in HubSpot or Marketo or Klaviyo. The problem though is always sort of the same, right? You have a campaign brief, the audience segment, the offer, but by the time you've written everything, the subject lines, drafted the copy, designed the template, built it into your platform, and QA'd it, a week has gone by. Multiply that by the number of campaigns that you want to run per month, and you've hit a wall. This worker removes that wall. So here in the canvas, there's sort of a lot going on, but I think it's helpful maybe to just focus on one side of this workflow, right? So starting with the email sequence prompt and going down here on this left side. This is just 3 of the same flow, but in one sort of bigger workflow. So it's going to start off with an interest, right? An interest and a general message. Interest being vertical or department or function that you're going after. In this case, let's say customer success. And then the actual message is sort of the intent of what you want this worker or workflow to create, right? In this case, it's going to be AI use cases for customer success teams. Now, we will start this off. What's happening here is it's taking that input and it's throwing it through our email nurture writer. Now, the email nurture writer, of course, you go to the brain, it's powered by GPT-5 Mini. We look at the instruction set here. Its goal is to be an expert B2B conversion copywriter, right? Email mastermind. Now, you'll see here, let's make this bigger. Starts off, it's going to receive the interest, right? It'll then take that interest classification and sequencing research. For example, if it's financial operations, read the content on this page, read articles around that tag, right? So it's gaining and doing research, gaining context and knowledge on what it's going to create. It's then going to work on creating those actual copy, but based on best practices, right? And I know that best practices change. It's as easy as coming in here and altering what some of this prompt is, right? As things you might find work or do not work within your organization and your audience, it's easy to polish and refine, right? It'll then create these emails with an opening hook and make sure it has, this content strategy across 3 emails, right? The problem, the proof, and the path forward. Now, going back into this workflow, it'll take that copy, that output from that worker, and it's going to extract it, right? Because it's going to be delivered in a JSON format. So it'll take that extraction and it'll extract, email 1, email 2, and ultimately email 3. Now, the next piece is pretty darn cool, in my opinion. Handles all of the image generation as well, which was a big win for us here, and something that we know a lot of folks have been asking about, right? Is being able to not just create blogs. That's awesome to create the copy, but take it a step further. Let's actually handle the imagery. And when you do that, it's full end-to-end process that's completely covered and automated. So now it's going out and actually sending, based on the email copy, a prompt out to Nano Banana to actually create that image. It'll get the image back. It'll then upload those images into HubSpot, and then it's going to create 3 different emails, all fully built out with imagery, ready to go based on, in this case, customer success and AI use cases for customer success teams. So if we go back here, so it's done one of them. There was 3 from the most recent one I also ran before this. So we have 3 for marketing, but we have 2 more coming in here that we just need to wait for the worker to complete, which looks like it's still running, these 2 here. So that makes sense. But to go check out, let's take a look on the inside and see what it wrote. Awesome. So it has an on-brand image here. You see, it's sort of in our style, has a EW on the shirt. It's using our color palette. It's written the good copy. It has a CTA that's linking to a case study. It's done the subject line and preview text as well. So I look at this process, historically, as we said earlier, or alluded to earlier in the conversation, it's a lengthy process to define and get, everyone signed off on copy, on design, to have it built out, published, and then launched. You might have all the briefs and you have all the ideas as a marketer, but you don't have the time before a launch or after a event to be able to send 5 different campaigns. So what did we historically do? We would just have to send 1 or 2. And I'm sure if you're on a marketing team and you're on this call, you've experienced that before. You might have all of the content and the knowledge, but you just don't have the time. So you just have to send 1. This is a way to sort of avoid that completely. As we talked about earlier, it's breaking down that wall. And the numbers are sort of striking here, very striking. It's 10x on more email campaigns deployed per month for us. It's a 95% reduction in creation time, which we all just saw here. It's 25 to 40% improvement on open rates, because the subject line agent is actually optimizing against your historical data, or the email nurture agent, excuse me. It's not just guessing, and it's 100% on brand in the templates, and template compliance. Every email looks like it came from our team because it did. The worker just made our team infinitely faster. So I would say that's a pause there on this email worker. I know there was a lot that just covered. I'll stop for a second. Do we have any questions?
Yeah, this version of it that we built is to do 3 email nurtures, like a nurture sequence of 3 emails, right? And then the way we actually use this internally is we have another lead enrichment and segmentation worker that's running on an automated schedule. So anytime we get a lead that comes in, it's going to segment that lead and create an interest category based on our go-to-market. And then once that's done, we'll just spin up different email nurture sequences with this other worker for it, so that we're just continuously nurturing, communicating, and engaging our audience at scale. But the other things you can do very easily with this is take this workflow template that we've built and then customize it to do things like, maybe you want to do a weekly or monthly newsletter. So you just add research nodes and steps, and then a formatting node and formatting worker to write the HTML for that email newsletter style generation. And really, you can do anything you like with this, but think about having unlimited capacity to hit personalized emails to all of your segments at scale. And think about what that would do to like your event lead follow-up, or you get off a webinar and everyone gets a personalized 3 email sequence. Which on this topic, I think the third worker we should cover here, Chris, is the SDR AI worker, and then wrap things up for today.
All right, let me pull that up. Give me a second here. Okay. So let me see here.
Okay, here is our SDR AI workflow.
Sorry
so
about that. Couldn't find it.
This is the demo version of it that we run. Our actual one runs always on from various triggers. But here on the input node, we give it a list ID from HubSpot, right? So let's go grab a list ID from our segments. Let's go get homepage leads old. Go to details, and we're going to copy the legacy V1 list ID. I'm going to set it to a limit of 5 so you guys can actually see it finish and process without having to wait forever. And then the campaign we're going to put this in our email sequencing tool is this demo campaign. So I'm going to copy the ID for that. We're going to run the workflow. Okay, I grabbed the wrong list ID there. So let's go and get the segment ID instead.
List ID, either you could, one that I've been using is 774 or 1234.
Oh, damn it. Okay. So my solutions architect changed this workflow that it's calling for message generation to grab a list type instead. So I unfortunately cannot demo this one right now. because we changed it to an always on and the dependency changed. But we'll skip that for now. But essentially what this thing does from previous runs of it is yesterday it put all of these contacts into this sequence. And what I've got here are subject, bot, and body variables for a 4 email sequence, right? And you'll see what this worker calls is the SDR message generation workflow, which then routes it to one of our different SDR AI workers, depending on the lead source. And what those workers look like is this. So it gets a contact as a prompt, and then it researches and writes a sequence. And the initial version of this, basically, I ran this for this guy, Bryce York at Tatari, and it went and did company level research. It looked at his title, director of product, did product and technical research, went and found recent announcements and signals from news. It went and looked through job boards to see if they are hiring in relevant positions, went and analyzed their product and looked at different challenges and opportunities, and then created implications for outreach. And from there, it wrote a 3 or 4 email sequence that was personalized to this person, and automatically put that into our sequencing tool. So if you preview these email bodies here, here is an outreach that's going out to a product marketing manager at Datadog that this SDR worker wrote automatically. Here's one that is going out to a senior director, national lead in industry programs at BDO. Here's one that's going out to a CMO at oversight. So think about how long it takes for your SDRs to actually research a prospect and write a nurture sequence. This thing does it instantly in seconds. So what we've been able to do with this is we only have one SDR globally for us. AI workers manage all of her outreach and meetings bookings, and we've doubled her meetings bookings and pipeline every single quarter. And now we're actually going to hire just one more SDR in North America just because her calendar cannot take any more contacts. But then from there, we're actually not going to hire any more SDRs at EverWorker. And we're just going to have account executives booking and taking those meetings with the AI worker automatically handling all outbound and inbound lead follow-up at scale. So that is it for now for our demo. So I'll open floor for any questions for the next 5 minutes, and then we can close out.
So there is one. Mark, do we offer text to image, e.g. generate PowerPoint decks? Yes, we do. There's a handful of integrations that we've built out with different tooling that allows folks to do that, right? One case that we have is business case creator, something that we sort of briefly touched on. We're looking at the larger sort of suite of agents that we offer. What it does, for example, is take either a text or transcript file. It'll extract it, or you can just provide things like company name, company, the title of the person you're talking to, the use cases. What it will then do, right, exactly this. It will then send over this information to a tool that we like here internally that we use called Gamma. It'll then create an actual Gamma presentation on brand in, let's say your company's template, exclusively around what was just shared with that worker, right? So, again, that whole automation of PowerPoint decks, slides, just from a text file or input that you've given it. But this is an example of something that we've created. It'll have, it's pretty intense when you look at all the design elements. This is something that I know historically would take me weeks to create, or a week, or a design team, would suck up some of their time. And this is something that we can do completely autonomously now with EverWorker.
Yeah, everything from sales assets to white papers is created agentically. We will go in here in Gamma and basically do a template one time for some sort of format. And then from there, it will automatically generate it. So we've got workers that do that for business case. We've got workers that create text and research and do that for slideware, for example, use case evaluation step in our sales process. And then we've got workers that do that for all sorts of content and one-pager generation as well. Gamma is one way we do it. You can also, if you like integrate directly into Microsoft PowerPoint with the Graph API and do it like that, and integrate with Google Slides using their API if you like. If it's got an API, we can connect into it. Theoretically, you could also just do this directly with Nano Banana as soon as you get perfection with it handling your text. Or you can even do this with PDF.co if you want to go with a really low-cost, scalable option. And that would just require some HTML work inside EverWorker, which we can do and have done as well.
So we've got one other question. Yep, I'll see on the pricing. Go ahead.
Yep. Pricing is really straightforward. You're looking at anywhere from 45 to 60K for our full marketing and sales AI solution. That includes about 15 different use cases basically all the use cases we covered. Now, if you want any other use cases, we can bundle those into that package for you as well. That also includes services and implementation for that full suite of use cases, which will include integration into your systems, full AI worker customization, and then on-call expert support along the way with training. And then you get the whole platform deployed. You can deploy single tenant SaaS, or you can deploy on a cloud. You get unlimited users. You can create unlimited AI workers and workflows and unlimited connectors inside your platform. We don't limit you there at all. And then, of course, you can scale and run your workers with unlimited token consumption and usage as well, because those are using your direct model endpoints that you set up yourself.
So, Nick, I'll say as far as pricing does work, is it per agent? Is it per team? You're only paying per deployed AI worker, right? So whether you have 1,000 people on using one worker or you have one person using one worker, you're only going to pay per that worker deployed. Now, of course, if you have 10,000 people using it, your endpoint costs might be a little bit higher as opposed to having one. But as far as what you're getting from us and what you're having to pay for from us, you're only having to pay per the workers that are deployed, right? In this case, for the suite of 15, it's 15 for 10,000 people that are using it, or it's 15 for 5 people. It's relatively the same price. It doesn't go up with the number of folks using that actual worker in the
EverWorker platform. So 45 to 60K annual contract, you get all the brand awareness workers and workflows, all the demand gen workers and workflows, and all of the revenue acceleration workers and workflows. Now, if you, for example, we designed this solution for B2B companies, and if you're not a B2B company, you probably don't want the revenue acceleration AI workers because you're not doing a sales-led revenue process. So for that, we just figure out which ones you want there, and we'll bundle in 5 or 6 or however many it is you want into that 45 to 60K annual contract. Really, our intent with this pricing model is that you get to 10x or 20x that capability of your team for less than the price of a junior intern level employee on an annual basis. So it's designed to be super high ROI. And can one account be used for multiple owned brands? Yeah, you can. It's your platform, it's your account, so use it however you like. So if you, for example, are we work with some SEO and content agencies, and all they really want is the SEO marketing worker, and they just want to do 20 or 30 variations of that for their customers. So you sign up for 45 or 60K package there, and you get as many SEO content marketing workers as you like and deploy them and create unlimited numbers of them in your first year. And from there, you're up and off to the races. Yep, happy to clarify. Alrighty. Thanks for joining us, guys. And then a special offer for anyone that signed up on the webinar. Chris will be following up with the email. If you book time with us in the next week or so, we will actually build you your first AI worker completely for free, show it to you, and then we're running some great promotions right now on our AI worker packages. So great time to come in and start becoming AI first with EverWorker at the moment. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you on future live streams.
Cheers.
Simply describe what you need, and Creator collaborates with you to understand every detail. No technical knowledge required. If you know the work, you can create the worker. Watch as Creator builds your AI worker in real time, configuring data sources, setting up analysis engines, and creating integrations. Your competitive intelligence specialist is now working around the clock, delivering insights your team needs to stay ahead. Now your team can get instant competitive intelligence whenever they need it. Ready to create your AI workforce?